Hi, I'm Sarah, and welcome to Cateau. So this is a free visual novel that I found on Steam, and it looks like it has some really great artwork and design, so I'm really excited to check it out. So let's get started. What is your name? Sarah. Paris is truly a sight to behold. I can't get used to it even having lived here for most of my life. The scene parting the city in two, the smell of baked goods in the morning, and the buildings filled with history. Even so, living here alone could maybe be a bit mundane, but I don't have to. I share an apartment with my old friend Roselle, who studies veterinary medicine of some sort. Of some sort. She does vet stuff. I don't get to spend much time with her as my job's working the evening shift at a small newspaper. Speaking of which, I ought to let her know that I'll be heading to the office for the night in a bit. Oh, Roselle! I knock on her door, waiting a few seconds before entering. Oh, hey, Ro. How you doing? You okay there? I'm alright, Sarah. And you? All good. Just wanted to let you know I'll be leaving for work in a few. How's school going? So, how was school? It wasn't all that important to come in today. I'll just read up on it later. Well, that's a cinch for you, so no problem there. But, you know, it might be good to get out sometimes. Let's ask if she wants to go somewhere this weekend. You know what? It's really nice outside, and we haven't even gone out for a coffee together. There's a great cafe down the road. You really need to check it out. We should totally do so this weekend when we're both free. Well, it has been a while. You know you want to. Some fresh air will feel nice. Maybe. I might have to study, so no promises. She glances at the clock above the door behind me. Shouldn't you be going soon? You'd wind up late and not too long, right? I'm good on time, actually, but it might be time to break it off. You might be right. I'm off then. I'll pass by the baker's, too. Maybe bring you home a treat. Bye! Oh, poor Ro. I leave her to her own and head for the door. Before leaving, I pat my pockets, realizing that I'm forgetting something. Ro, have you seen my keys? The ones with the cork? Have you looked in the kitchen? I check and find them on the countertop. I always forget to check there. Good thing she still keeps tabs on me, even if things are different now. Thanks, bye! Have a good day! Get to feeling better. Studying and all that. Oh, nice. There's a squid cat and a mermaid. Nice little graffiti there. Man, how lucky am I to have a view like this going to work. I think to myself as my feet patter against the rounded stones of the old towpath. In the shade by the wall, I spot a cat, looking every bit as scruffy as the water looks serene. Oh, hi! Oh, Roselle'd love this if she were here. She always used to chase after cats, patiently gain their trust, and befriend them like some kind of cat whisperer. Whenever successful, which was almost always, she'd memorialize the occasion by having a picture taken, like a big game hunter of old posing with her quarry. I kind of miss that side of her. Maybe a picture of my own would remind her of the good old days? Well, that's so nice. The thought stops me in my tracks, and I study the cat in question. It's just sitting there, gazing over the water as if saying, yep, I rule this place. Which, in fairness, it probably did by the looks of things. Looking at the time, I noticed I have plenty of it left. Could at least try to get her a picture. What could possibly go wrong after all? I mean, it's just a stray cat. They don't have claws or teeth or nothing. But how should I approach? Okay. I feel like this fella is not one I want to sneak up on. I feel like that might be, dangerous. The dangerous option here, so I'm just gonna let it know I'm there and close carefully. Better take it slow here. Slow and steady wins the race, after all, and I'm not the sorcerer's cat whisperer Roselle. I would hate to spook it now for what was clearly, even to me, a favorite spot of theirs. Not that this cat looks particularly skittish. It has a very proud bearing. Hello there, kitty. I speak softly, while closing the distance. When I'm merely a few meters away, it gives me a casual glance out of the corner of its eye. As if, hello, human. I get the idea and stop. Satisfied with my response, it resumes watching over the still water. I could easily just take a picture of the cat's back and call it a day, but my professional pride berates me for even considering such a notion. Huh, just a photo of its back. I have to have better than that. It may not be the cuddliest cat in the world, but I will get a good photo one way or another. Let's see. So I can wait for the right moment. I can toss a rock, or I can close the distance. I'm gonna wait. Let's wait. The cat seems to rather enjoy the view of the water. Ever so slowly, I walk up to the edge, maintaining respectful distance to the cat and sitting down with my legs crossed. The late summer's evening sun shrouding the city in a pink glow. Not even the faintest breeze disrupting the mirror-like surface of the water. I glance at the cat. It's basking in the sun with closed eyes, savoring the warmth. The moment is here. With careful, deliberate movements, I fish my phone out of my pocket and lean in for a picture. The picture perfectly captures the serenity of the scene. Not wishing to disturb the cat any longer, I get up and walk away. Oh, that's so pretty. Oh, that's so good. Good job. Good shot. The reply comes through so fast it feels like I got it before I even sent the message. That's a gorgeous photo. The cat looks like a stray, but how did you manage to get so close? Tell me. It's because I'm awesome. That's how. And I just took my time with it. I took a page from your book. Gotta learn from the best. Haha. The best? Wouldn't go that far, but thanks. Did it take long to get to that point? Not really. It didn't seem to mind me being in the vicinity as long as it could keep track of me and I did nothing hasty. Strays are often kind of chill if you don't bother them. Be careful though, they can be unpredictable. Kinda got that vibe, yeah. I will be. Almost forgot. Thanks for the picture. I think I'll make that my new home screen on my phone. Aww. Thanks. Gosh. Good chat, Ro, but I need to hurry up now. Lost more time than I thought here. I'm gonna go to work, so my boss doesn't fire me. That would be good. Not getting fired. Oh, hey, it's one of the classic clocks. Alright. Work went by as usual and it was over in no time. Dawn is lurking around the corner as I'm heading for the bakery. Gotta get a late night pastry. All the little shops are closed, but the bakers are already at their battle stations, churning out their goods for the breakfast rush and the coming day. Thanks to having friends in high places, also known as the owner, I'm allowed to sneak in through the back door and get my grubby hands on bread early. Roselle said she didn't want any, but I'll get her some just in case she changes her mind. And I mean, if she doesn't eat it, I could always eat it. Besides, you can never have too much bread. Oh, hey, kitty! As I leave the bakery with my precious baked goodness, I notice a cardboard box next to the door, which apparently is the residence of a charmingly fat cat sleeping inside. Oh, he's so cute. Clearly, it's being cared for to some extent, as the floor is draped with a cozy-looking blanket, and somebody's made it a little roof to keep the rain out. Oh, that's nice. Is it a new tenant on the street, or am I selectively blind and it's always been here? I can't recall. Looking around, the nearby area is strangely littered with glass jars, too. Oh no. Inspired by the success of the earlier cat encounter, I decide to win further glory by attaining a second triumphant moment, one to make Roselle the cat whisperer proud. I drop my bag and crouch down next to the sleeping cat, or what I thought was a sleeping cat. Oh, it opens an eye and looks down at me lazily. Hi, kitty. How are you? I mean, if it's been well cared for, it should. I'm sure it's fine to pet it, right? Those chubby cheeks appear to be destined for cuddling. Oh, good. Testing the waters, I tentatively reach out with my hand but meet no resistance. I caress its head and it peacefully closes its eyes. It looks like a smile, appearing content. A soft purr follows, and a now stretched paw closes and opens gently. Aw. Let's scratch its chin. When I unwittingly touch the cat's chin, it presses its head against my hand. I remove my hand and look at it quizzically. The cat looks back at me with steady eyes, with that oddly satisfied face of a person who knows they'll get what they want. Difference being, this is a cat. Hesitantly, I reach back under the chin, and yet again, it pushes against my hand. Finally, catching on to this advanced form of communication, I give it a good scratch and see the grin-like face of an excessively happy cat. The rumbling purring could probably be heard all over town. All the while, the cat bobs along my movements. Oh, he's so cute. After a while, I grow tired of the whole affair and stop. There's cuddling. Then there's spending a whole day standing in the back alley. The cat jumps down to stroke its body against my knees, persistently asking for more cuddles. I can feel the tiredness lurking, the mental image of my bed calling me home. But instead, I would appear to have been confiscated by this cat. Can't leave a cat behind. Every time I make an effort to get going, it gets in the way of my feet, causing me to nearly trip over in order to avoid stepping on the cheeky fella. While Rose's not here, she could still have a good laugh at my expense if I could nab that picture. The conundrum remains, however, how to get enough space to do the nabbing of said picture. Let's try the selfie camera. Maybe I don't need to create distance. I fumble in my pocket as I continue petting the cat with the other hand. In the position I'm sitting, it's difficult to get it out of my pocket, and I struggle for a moment. Finally, I prevail against these insurmountable odds, place the camera in front of us, and snap a bunch of photos, hoping that at least one won't be a blurry mess of a disaster. Go through them quickly, and there's one close-up picture of the cat's face that didn't end up looking like the photo was taken from inside a tumble dryer. We'll have to make do. A few more cuddles later, I managed to extricate myself from the situation and start off in the direction of home. Oh, he's so cute! Oh, that's precious. I love it. While perhaps not the best interaction on my part, the picture turned out kind of great. Wow, how did you manage to take this one? After many trials and tribulations, I managed to nab it in the end. That and approximately 42,372 others that turned out to be rubbish, but that's beside the point. I bet. Did you get along well? Kind of. Not bad. Not great, I don't think. I was thinking of trying to feed it. That could work. Just don't give it raw fish or something. That could make it sick. Don't worry, I won't. Thanks, Ro, for the advice there. What a day. Keychain rattling in my hand, I unlock the door, shutting it behind me. Dumping the bag on the floor by the wall and trudging on over to the kitchen for a bite to eat before bed. I trundle past Ro's door. Shut, as always. Just a faint blue light leaking through the door frame. She must be on the laptop again. Finally arriving at the counter, I have myself a few pieces of fresh loaf before dragging myself into the living room and to the TV. Flopping onto the couch, I watch whatever happens to be on, lazily munching away. There's a documentary on about life on the African savannah. It'd be just her thing. After a few minutes of deliberation, I get up, going over to Rose's room and gently knock on her door. Hey Ro, you up? Yeah, Sarah, what is it? Why don't you come watch this nice documentary with me? Can I come in? Sure. Hey Ro, why don't you come hang out with me? It'd be fun. There's a wildlife special on. I know you love wildlife. There's lions and everything, just like we always used to catch. There's a few moments of silence. I'd rather not. I want to be alone. Okay. Knowing when not to overstay my welcome, I wish her a good night before gently closing the door and heading back to the couch. Okay. Sorry, Ro. Feel better. Never having been one for sitting around, come afternoon I treat myself to a walk. Some might think that walking is a bit of a peculiar treat, but in a city like Paris, it really is. There's always something beautiful to see, something exciting to discover. Can never be bored in the City of Lights. I've been walking around the city virtually every day for years and it still never bores me. On the contrary, it helps dislodge writer's block and distract me from other woes. One of the streets and spots I always come back to, though, is this old little street passing by the small park. The trees happen to make for a great spot to just get away from the sun on a hot day, an added bonus. Suddenly, I spot an orange fuzz in my peripheral, and I instinctively know it's a cat. It's funny, the things you notice once you're actively looking for them. Well, it's either that, or I've been afflicted with cat-engineered nanomachines, altering my perception, which, in all honesty, is a touch unlikely. It could be at a cat game, though. Oh, it's a little kitty. Rather than a fully grown cat, this one's a mere kitten, playing with the leaves behind a tree. Oh. Playtime is disrupted, however, when a pedestrian tramples by, startling the little creature. After having taken cover by the tree for a while, it tentatively returns to its game, soon blissfully distracted. I'd love to join in, but I don't want to frighten it again either. Let me, let it know I'm getting closer. Considering how that person storing by scared the poor little thing, I should probably let it know I'm approaching beforehand, so that I don't scare it again. I walk closer careful with slow, deliberate movements, quietly calling out to it. Hey, little friend, don't be afraid. Oh no! Turns out kittens don't do too well in the whole hearing comprehension front. It curls up into a small, nervous bundle. Oh no, I'm sorry, kitty. Don't be scared, I'm a friend. I stopped for a while, giving it some time to realize that I wasn't going to stampede by or do it any harm. Clearly anxious due to my presence, I need to do something to break the ice. Oh, this is going so well. How about I'm just gonna tell about my day. Let me tell you about work. Maybe I can get across my friendliness through casual conversation. I go on to tell the kitten all about my day, the cat by the canal, my night shift at work, and about the other cat by the cafe. While facing in the general direction of the cat, I don't look directly at it, trying to communicate that I'm no threat to it. Oh, he's doing better. Good. Cast a quick glance at it, and the kitten is watching me carefully, but seems less withdrawn, more curious. Try to pet the kitten, play with it using a stick. I feel like if I pick up a stick, I'm really going to scare it, so let's try to pet it. Uh-oh. It's okay, don't be afraid. I crouch down, slowly extending my hand, but not so that I touch the cat, trying to coax it to come out of its shell to me on its own accord. This approach is getting me nowhere, leaving the initiative in my hands. Ever so slowly, I reach further, but just as I'm about to give it a reassuring pat on the head, it bolts off behind the safety of the tree trunk. Well, I messed that up real bad. Realizing that I botched this quite badly, I decide to cut my losses here to avoid leaving even worse of an impression. Getting my phone out, I take a quick photo for Ro before heading off in the opposite direction. Oh, the poor kitten. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to scare you. I didn't know. Good thing I know just the person to ask for advice. While sending Ro the picture, I take the opportunity to do just that, relaying my actions. You need to be more careful with the poor little cutie. Don't do things that can be perceived as aggression. I don't understand. I moved slowly, spoke to it in a quiet voice. What did I do wrong? Sometimes with a scared animal, the best thing you can do is leave them alone. Sure, you can observe, but stand far enough away that you can't pose a threat to it. If that seems to still get them antsy, just leave. I just didn't want to leave it all alone and frightened. You try to do a good thing. Don't worry about it. Just be more aware of how it must think of you, and that if it's scared, it might not be very rational. Thanks, Ro. Hopefully it won't have had a fright next time I see it if I do. I'll be home soon, too. Oh, sorry. Sorry, kitten. Didn't mean to spook you. When I get home, I enter Ro's room. I just wanted to let you know I'll be visiting the bakery lunchtime tomorrow. I need to grab a cake for Rico from work's birthday. If you want to come along, I'm sure the cat will be there. I think I'd rather stay here. They say it's going to be very hot out tomorrow. But if you do see it, you know the rule, right? Right. When you see a cat for a second time, you must name it. I remember. Oh, nice. I'll head out again and go to work soon. And good luck. When down by the canal, I keep an eye out for the scruffy cat, but I don't run into it again. Work turns out like usual, pretty uneventful. Will bakery cat be there, I hope? Man, I still feel so bad about scaring the kitten. After some well-deserved sleep, I head out to grab that cake. To be honest, I'm more excited at the chance of seeing the cat again than to celebrate my coworker. I should get the cat something. It looks like one that would appreciate something edible. Take a quick detour to a grocery store, and I quickly find myself in the small pet aisle. I have no idea what the cat likes, and the picture of the jars littered around its bed pop into my mind. Maybe they had contained something it liked, but I can't quite remember what label it had. What should I buy? Normal cat treats? No, that jar had to be intended for the garbage. Would leave a glass jar out and about for an animal after all. And at the end of the day, cat treats are designed for, well, cats to eat. Even if it doesn't like them, it'll hardly do any harm. That wasn't a good sound it gave me. When I reach the bakery, I find the cat resting in its makeshift bed yet again. Seemed to be quite fond of its little box, even though it's visibly somewhat too small. Good afternoon, cat. I bring thee a tribute of treats. The cat raises its head with a slow, lazy sway, letting out a big yawn, exposing a line of long teeth. It blinks slowly at me and I reach out, petting its head and scratching it a little behind the ear. Roselle sends her well wishes. She also wants me to grant you a name, if that would be okay. What will you name this cat? So, I'm really bad with names. We're just gonna call you Mochi. There we go, Mochi. How about Mochi? Does that sit well with you? Mochi meows. Aww. I know it's just in response to me making sounds at it, but I can't help but to add in a friendly, sarcastic manner. Then again, you don't seem to do much but sit. A pause, accompanied by continued petting, before I reach into my pocket for the treats. I've got something for you. Once in hand, I rattle the packet somewhat to get Mochi's attention. The cat eyes me with that sort of semi-enthusiastic curiosity in its eyes, standing up to get a good look at what I'm doing. Opening the bag of treats results in a meow as Mochi sniffs the air. I single out a treat and serve it to the cat out of the palm of my hand. Mochi gives it another skeptical sniff before tapping it with a paw. The treat, clearly terrified, flees out of my hand and falls down onto the bed. Mochi taps it some more, making sure it cannot escape again before looking up at me with expectant eyes. Go ahead, it's yours. Certainly not for me. However, Mochi doesn't pay the morsel any more attention, no matter how I try to coax it. Suppose Mochi must be a connoisseur of fine food, liking any interest in cat treats? Sorry. Well, that certainly didn't work out the way I'd hoped. I'll have to try to appease the cat somehow else. Let's scratch its cheeks. Those puffy cheeks look fit for a good scratching. Using the tip of my finger, I gently scratch its cheek before moving to scratching it just behind the jaw. Mochi clearly approves, a humming purr radiating from a very pleased cat. It angles its head to give me better access, and the scratching continues for a few moments before it turning its head to the other side, and the process is repeated. Mochi's purrs slowly grow more quiet until it drifts off into a nap, its head resting against my hand. Oh, that's better. Ever so carefully, I lower its head onto a bundle of the blanket bedding, succeeding in doing so without waking Mochi up. I realized that I had already spent much more time with Mochi than I had intended, and I need to pick up that cake already. Hesitantly, I give Mochi a last pet on the head before saying my goodbyes and escaping into the bakery. It's bustling with more activity than usual. When the owner scurries by, I receive the great news. Business has been going well, and they are moving to a new, bigger place not too far away. I congratulate her, apologize for not having much time to chat before taking my leave, a cake in hand. Alright then. I'm home! Unlike the usual silence, Ro calls for me. Hi, Ro. Sarah, can you come over for a minute? When had she last been the one to call out to me? That's something I haven't considered being a possibility in a very long time. Walk over to her room. How's it going? Yes? Roselle plays with her hands as if she's unsure of how to bring up the subject. Thank you for the photos. They were nice. However... Yes? That kitten... Was there anyone with it? No, it was alone, I think. Isn't that strange? For a kitten to be all alone, I mean? I guess, but it had a collar, so it might just live nearby. She doesn't look convinced. You know what? I'll see if I spot it on my walk and make sure. That'd be great. You want to come and see it? I can see how she considers it. How her brows furrow and her eyes trace the crevasses of the floorboards. It might get scared with yet another stranger around. Best you go alone. Scared of frightening it. That's not an excuse I've ever heard from Roselle, the great cat whisperer. Maybe this case is a little bit more delicate, and it's not like the kitten trusts me either. However, if she doesn't want to, I can't force her. I'll just do my best then. Wish me luck. Good luck. Empowered by her blessing, I head out to hopefully not terrify this kitten again. Just before leaving, I put the cake in the fridge and make my way to the old pedestrian street again. I'm surprised to see the kitten sitting next to the tree just like it had the other day. It feels a little strange to find such a young cat out here all alone again. I'd like to have a closer look at its collar, as it might have a number or an address on it. The kitten is sitting next to the tree trunk, looking at the passerby. It looks healthy, so somebody must be feeding it at least. I really hope that I'm just overthinking it. From our last meeting, I know I should be careful when I approach it. No sudden movements or sounds that will scare it. Having made my approach, I speak to it softly to get its attention. Hey, little friend. We need a proper name for you too, don't we? I'm gonna call you Momo. Momo, what do you think of that? The kitten glances at me with big eyes, which I decide to be in approval. This reminds me that I still have cat treats in my pocket. Maybe Momo will like them. But I'm not the only one with eyes for the kitten. A kid separates from his mother's hands to chase the kitty. Oh no, don't chase him! Momo runs away, but in my direction. I can't let it get away. I'm just gonna follow the kitten. It's probably for the best to let it run. The kid's caught by his mother, so I don't have to worry about him anymore. I follow the kitten around the corner and find it hiding in a doorway. Its body is pressed into the corner, and its eyes watch me carefully. The ordeal has gotten me pretty close. Maybe I have a chance here? Let's throw a treat to it. Don't want to get too close. Well, there's no twigs to use for play, and even if there were, I'm not sure that that'd be a good idea. Maybe a bite to eat would help the little creature feel at ease. This situation isn't exactly what I'm used to, but I believe in the versatile powers of food. I crouch down and toss a treat carefully so it lands next to the kitten. It snaps its eyes on the new object and sniffs the air. When it's convinced it won't move again, it sneaks up on the treat and eats it. When finished, it sniffs around the ground for more. I throw another one, and the projectile makes Momo shy away before quickly returning to eat the food. I throw the treats closer and closer to me so Momo can get within reach. However, Momo becomes aware of that and grows more careful approaching the treats, backing away when it has grabbed it. It's a slow process, but I get the kitten close enough. I'm not gonna grab. That would terrify him. Let's just try to feed out of hand. Slowly pick out a few treats and place them on my palm. Extend my hand slightly in front of me, making sure the kitten can see them. Momo looks at them but hesitates, so I throw one of them halfway between us. The kitten crouches down and sneaks up to the treat, carefully watching me. After snacking on the nearest treat, it looks curiously at my hand, stretching its head out. It takes a reluctant step towards me and I have to stay completely still. Movementless, like a statue, a gargoyle on Notre Dame. Or maybe not like a gargoyle, they come to life, right? As Momo gets closer, it grows braver and walks up the last steps to smell my hand. Aw, I feel its whiskers tickle my fingertips, but I stay still as a mountain. Momo takes the first treat, and I can clearly hear it snap as it bites into it. One after another, the treats disappear until my hand is empty. Oh, he's a hungry little kitty. I know Momo won't like it, but I'll still have to grab it to check out its collar. My hand eases closer and picks the kitten up. I quickly press it against my chest to stabilize it. Momo tenses up as soon as I touch it, but feels slightly calmer after a few seconds in my bosom. There you are, such a good kitty. I try to soothe the kitten and gently stroke it with my thumb. When it's calm, I place it on my lap to check the collar. Momo meows and I find a phone number that I write down on my phone. When that's done, I loosen my grip and stroke the kitten gently to make it forget my manhandling. Then I have to let go and Momo scurries away, but I don't think we're back to square one. I leave some treats on the ground in case it comes back and leave. Oh, poor kitty. As soon as I get home, I walk into Rose's room. I got a number. Momo had one on its collar. Oh, and I followed your rule. I named it. I also forgot to mention that I named the bakery cat as well. It's Mochi. Oh, what are we waiting for? Call it. I type in the number and let the signals go by. They go on for longer and longer. No answer. Doesn't appear so. I'll have to try again later. Well, keep me updated. I will. Time to go to work, though. Bye. Try to call a few more times. Eventually I give up and head out for work. Gotta make that money. There are slow news days and there's dead news days. I need to get something published today or my boss will get to my case. Might as well have a stroll and see if I can at least find something worth writing about. The city, beautifully lit in the dark as I find my way down to the towpath, is probably one of the prettiest spots around here. Another advantage it has going for it is the fact that, for some arcane reason, almost nobody ever goes there, rendering it a quiet place for thoughts to be had. Hang on a moment, what's that sound? What you doing disrupting my quiet? My pondering is interrupted by aggressive growling and a tremendous noise near the bridge. My curiosity is getting the better of me, and I silently walk over to check the source of the racket. Oh, hi! In the glow of lamplight, there's a group of cats staring at each other, hissing and swatting their paws. 4 of them seem to be working together against a somewhat larger, rougher-looking one. Could it be the same one as from the other day? Looks like it appears to be in trouble. I don't want him to get hurt, but I also feel like interrupting a fight amongst stray cats will not be a good idea. To interfere is a sure way to get all kinds of debilitating diseases. I hang back and wait for the confrontation to resolve itself. They fly at each other in a blurred frenzy of claws and bites, but a few moments later, the upstarts rout and flee, leaving a lone cat torn but triumphant. Satisfied that has indeed won the field, it huffs, weary but proud in posture. Oh, good. I sneak closer, but it doesn't look like the cat needs or wants my help. It sits down, tending to its wounds and giving itself time to rest and recover. This cat can clearly manage on its lonesome. Roselle could certainly learn a thing or two from this fellow. Another certainty is that every great brawler ought to have a nickname of some sort to go along with their reputation. What will you name this cat? You look like a gargoyle. You're gargoyle. Right, gargoyle. Clearly you run this town. Gargoyle starts walking, and I follow along at a comfortable distance. We follow the canal, a part of the city I'm very familiar with. I glance at the cat, who has some minor cuts, and the fur is even more of a mess than usual, but it doesn't seem to bother it at all. What bothers me, though, is the extensive littering for one, and the fact that I have no idea what this cat eats, come to think about it. Let's clean up garbage. A soda can distracts me from the cat. The canal is beautiful. How can people just go around littering like it's a thing to do? There's even a garbage bin right there. Oh, I hate when that happens. I put the can in my bag to recycle it later, and the other things I find go in the bin. Gargoyle tracks me with its gaze as I clean up the place. It doesn't take long until it looks decent again. Gargoyle stands up and sits down next to a piece of paper I had missed. Oh, thank you, kind sir. I walk up to the cat and grab the paper without really thinking about it, but we were, for a moment, so close, we nearly touched. That gives me an idea. What's the worst thing that could happen? Sure, it's a grumpy cat, but it's not like stepping on a landmine at least, right? How about we play with paper crumple? Well, I've got the paper. Could make for a decent improvised cat toy. Crumpling it in my hand, I flick it about, trying to entice playfulness from the rather grumpy cat. It is indeed rather grumpy, but seemingly somewhat amused by my efforts at batting at it with a lazy paw. Oh, he's trying. The interest wanes fairly quickly as Gargoyle stops paying it any heed. Getting the idea, I put the paper away. While certainly not the smoothest of friendships, I get the feeling that Gargoyle is at least somewhat less indifferent towards me. How nice. Gargoyle and I would have to part ways for now, but I'm looking forward to meeting it again. Once back at work, inspiration hits me. I could always write a little piece about the issue of abandoned cats around the city. Oh, how nice. That's great. Maybe get some of them homes. After all, I never noticed before, so bringing it to light might result in some good. Maybe get some of these cats somewhere to stay. Ro, I'm home. Returning home in the morning, I'm met with a surprise. I look through my pockets for my keys, only to find none. Oops. Must have dropped them somewhere. With resignation, I knock steadily on the door. A short while later, Roselle opens it with a surprised look on her face. She looks tired. I'm not sure if I woke her up or not, however. I dropped my keys. Oh. I'll have to go looking for them after I've had some time to sleep. Are you going anywhere? No, not really. With that, we separate into our respective rooms. Ooh, time to hit the hay. Long day at work. Long day with the news. Who will we run into today? I go to the bakery during the afternoon this time around, as the bakery won't be open in the weekend due to the move. So this will be the last time I go to this alley. During the walk, I'm sure to keep my eyes peeled in case I drop my keys here, but I'm fairly sure I didn't. I enter the bakery and I'm almost feeling a little nostalgic as I look around. It won't change my routines that much to go to the new place, but I'm a little bit worried about Mochi. I ask the owner about it when she hands me my bread. Will you bring the cat along with you to your new place? The owner gently shakes her head. There's no good place for it to stay at the new bakery, and we can't let it inside. Aww. Isn't there anyone that can take it home then? We've tried that, but it got really angry and anxious when we tried to carry it away. It really likes it with us, but when push comes to shove, we'll have no choice but to force it to. I'm sure it'll work out somehow. Have you seen a pair of keys, by the way? I've dropped them somewhere. I haven't, but I will be sure to be on the lookout. The owner smiles reassuringly and continues on with work. I leave the bakery feeling ill at ease. Aww, Mochi. Woke up to Mochi and I notice that it looks a bit uneasy, but cheers up some when it sees me. Cat must know that something's going on. Should at least try to comfort it some before I go. Let's just pet gently. Cuddles are the best cure for anxiety. They really are. I sit down next to its little bed and reach out my hand to caress its head. Mochi closes its eyes, purring, and we sit like that for a while. We can't leave Mochi without anyone caring for it. I agree. Feels weird to think of the cat being anywhere else but here in the back alley, then this is its home. Keep a close eye on the cat. It's looking much happier after some cuddling. Thought starts to play in my mind. What if I could take Mochi home with me? Mochi seems like a cat that would like most people. Sure, that might be a presumption, but I feel like we have a little bit of a special bond. I've gotten better with cats, I think. And I know that Roselle owned cats in the past, so we would be able to care for it. Our apartment's big enough, my income isn't too bad. Could be doable. No, it's entirely doable. Let's try it out. It will depend on if Mochi likes me or the bakery more entirely. Mochi inches closer to my hand and snuggles close to it. Oh, I stroke it gently with my free hand. It's spoiled with further cuddles. I roll up my sleeves and crack my knuckles, a quiet joke to myself. The charm blitzes on and there's no escaping it. I'll make Mochi a happy, not-so-little cat. I begin by scratching behind the cheeks. I run my fingers through the thick fur and give it a scratch from the ears to the chin. I move my hands down to the chest and neck, digging into the fluffy chest hair. When I scratch the fur over its shoulders, I notice its front paws claw the quilt under it in comfort. The cat rolls over, exposing its tummy, and I give Mochi a proper belly rub. Aww. Mochi must feel spoiled to bits after that. The cat remains on its back, eyes closed, but then gives me a glance. The look seems to say, "Oh, you finished already? Weren't you supposed to be feeling bad?" Mochi chases after my hand, demanding to receive more pets, even though I've been at it for minutes already. When I don't immediately comply, it looks at me with those puppy eyes. Oh, Mochi certainly seems to want to keep me around, but is that enough for it to be willing to follow me home? I'd like to give the cat a little test to see. Why don't we carry it home in its bed? Uh-oh. This bed might be what marks this alley as its home. It might feel more secure with the move if I bring something like that with us. I remove the roof and try to pick it up. It's a bit unwieldy, but I shuffle it around to get a better grip. Before I can get one, Mochi jumps overboard, not feeling safe in the shaking ship. The cat sits down next to the bakery's door, and with a faint smile, I place the bed back and fix the roof. Looks like it wants to stay here after all. Aw, Mochi doesn't want to leave, and like the owner, I don't want to force it. The best thing would be for Mochi to stay with the bakers somehow, and I think I have an idea growing. I snuggle that cat's cheeks and head back into the bakery. Aw. Owner looks up at me with an raised eyebrow. If the cat can't stay behind the store, couldn't it stay in front of it? Maybe it could attract customers. I fiddle with my fingers, unsure what she'll think of my idea. That might just work. The cat has always loved people, so if we could make it a proper home by the door, then we wouldn't have to force it anywhere either. I call him Mochi, by the way. I've never heard you call it by any name, so I took the liberty of naming it. You know, it's just felt like the right thing to do. The owner starts to chuckle. I never got to that. Mochi, you say? Fits strangely well. I bid my goodbye and head out again. I can't spot my keys anywhere, but I can't help to feel cheerful for having found a solution for Mochi. I must have dropped my keys somewhere along the canal, so I'll go there next. Well, that could have gone better, but I guess it's that we worked it out. As I get to the towpath, it's already becoming dark. I'm placing my hopes on that the setting sun will hit the keys just right and make them shine up. Keep my eyes peeled on the ground, making my way back to my workplace along the canal. A hunch makes me look back, and surely I spot Gargoyle following me with silent steps. I wonder for how long it's been doing that. Or why. Possibly to keep an eye on anyone on its turf? The cat keeps stalking me at a slight distance, and I ignore it the best I can. My keys are top priority right now. I walk the entire towpath without spotting them. I guess I'll walk back to check some of the busier areas more carefully. I spot that Gargoyle has stopped following me and is playing with something next to the edge of the canal. Oh, good that it's keeping itself entertained. Let's check what Gargoyle is doing. I'm a bit curious to see what would interest Gargoyle. If my keys can wait this long, they can wait a little longer. The cat's sitting right next to the water and is poking at something casually, almost like it doesn't want to admit that it's playing. When I get closer, I get a better look at the object. Wait! Those are my keys! Gargoyle is playing with. I can't believe the cat managed to find them. Nice. I don't have the time to take a sigh of relief before the cat pokes the keys so they inch closer to their watery doom. Oh no. I must do something quick to prevent a catastrophe from happening. Let's go up slowly so I don't spook him. I reach out my hand in front of me, trying to mentally keep the cat still. I hunch slightly and walk closer slowly, careful not to agitate the cat. It looks at me momentarily before losing interest and looks down at the keys again. Now they're Gargoyle. Let's not be hasty. You don't have to knock the keys into the water. We can talk about this. I watch as a paw closes in on the bundle. Gargoyle! I leap forward, but it's too late. Watch the keys tumble over the edge, and I hear the splash echo in my head. Well, goodbye. There's no way I can find my keys at the bottom of the canal. Kneel down next to the edge and look into the blackness. Water's way too dark and deep for me to possibly find my keys. Guess I'll try to get copies for them. Till then, I'll have to coordinate with Ro, get a new lock for my... Something drifts past me and quiets my bustling thoughts. Cork, I determine. Oh, yeah, I have a cork on them. Nice. What a coincidence. My keychain's a cork. I spurt into motion to grab it before it drifts any further and pull it out of the water. How handy. It's my keys. With them safe in hand, I cast a glance at Gargoyle, who has been ignoring the whole ordeal and is cleaning its paw. You're lucky these didn't sink, you know. I sigh and lean back to catch a quick breath. Why don't we play with him using the keys? The cat seemed to like to play with the keys, and under safe conditions, I might dare to capitalize on that. I hold them by the cork and dangle them above Gargoyle's head. Doesn't cause much of a reaction. The cat just cocks his head and looks at me. Okay, so that doesn't work. I'll have to try to recreate the conditions it wanted to play in. Take one hard last look at my keys and drop them on the ground, although making sure they aren't close to any edges. After looking at the keys for a moment, Gargoyle reaches out a lazy paw and swats the keys a little closer to the water. Maybe Gargoyle just likes to push things off edges. I could replace the keys with something else, but it would just end up littering, so I quit playtime then and there. It's getting late, so I should head home. Give Gargoyle a wave and start to walk away. Bye! I walk down the very familiar towpath. Wonder how Roselle's doing at home. After a while, I recognize faint footsteps behind me and turn around to see that gargoyle still following me. Aw. Hey, buddy. Shrug, thinking it will stop eventually, but as I leave the towpath, it's still following me. You coming with me, huh? Gargoyle responds by following along all the way to my door. Oh, hey, friend. This is my stop. Gargoyle stopped and is looking at me, waiting. Having said goodbye, I open the door, only for Gargoyle to waltz on in like it owns the place. Okay, I guess you can stay here then. Gargoyle immediately starts to investigate the room, walking along all the walls and jumping up on all the furniture. We'll have to set up house rules eventually if it really wants to stay. Ro, can you come out here for a second? After a moment, Roselle makes her way out of her room, rubbing her eyes. What is it? I look at Gargoyle, and for the first time, she notices the cat. What? I know, right? It followed me home. I couldn't really stop it. Gargoyle eyes the new human suspiciously from its spot on the sofa. Ro crouches down next to it and starts to work her magic. Doesn't take long for Gargoyle to soften up to her with her cat sorcery. We'll need to get it some things if it's to stay here. The shops are closed now, but I can get everything first thing tomorrow. I can make you a list. We should also get it checked by a vet since it's a stray. I bet I'll love that. Maybe not, but we have to make sure it's healthy. Much has happened today, so I decide to head to bed early and leave them to bond for themselves. Aw, nice. Looks like we got a new cat friend to stay with us. I've bought the new things and I'm heading out for my Sunday stroll. By the look of it this morning, Gargoyle and Roselle are getting along well, so I'm not the slightest bit worried about leaving them alone. As I near the pedestrian street, I peel my eyes, trying to spot a certain kitten. I'll most likely find it in its usual spot, but I don't trust it not to have moved. See the tree in the distance, and it grows closer as I walk. There's no kitten to be seen. I reach the corner and circle around the tree, but I can't see Momo. Maybe it actually got home. If that were to be the case, it would be great. A meow crushes my hopes, and I look around, still not spotting it. The next meow I can tell comes from above, and I look up. Oh no, he's in the tree! Momo looks down at me from a high up branch in the tree. How'd you get up there, buddy? What's it doing up there? It doesn't look very safe. Haven't climbed a tree in ages, but I did some back in the day. Except for the first part, it looks like a pretty easy climb. I mean, if he got up there, he might be able to get out on his own. It isn't certain that Momo really is stuck, and it would be a shame to do anything risky if it wasn't necessary. I'll try and see if it will come down on its own first. Stand next to the trunk and call to the kitten. Momo meows back, and I see it moving its paw slightly, but not moving away from its spot high up in the tree. After trying some more and giving the kitten some time, I figure it must actually be stuck. It's possible that it's just too scared of the people to come down, but when is Paris ever empty? Never. I have to do something. It needs my help. Let's find something to climb on. I look around, finding a wheeled garbage bin around the corner. I'll put it back when I'm done with it, but for now, I pull it next to the tree. Careful not to scare the kitten any further, I climb up on the bin. From there, it's not too great of a task to find footing at the lowest branch. I look up and the kitten stares back at me, meowing meekly and visibly scared. Someone must have startled it up here and it doesn't know how to get back down. It looks at me and I'm fairly sure it recognizes me. I climb really slowly. I really can't afford scaring it any further up the tree. Momo is already out on very thin twigs. With all of its claws, it's sticking to the wood, and I don't want to let go of that grip before I can catch it. I slowly move to the next foothold, and then pause there until Momo stops watching me. I advance to the next spot. It's very slowly going, and my arms feel a bit tired, but eventually I reach the same height that Momo's at. The kitten, however, is just slightly too far away. I might be able to lean out and grab it, or possibly lure it closer. How about we coax with food? I make sure I sit steadily on my branch, and then carefully extract the treats from my pocket. If Momo has been up here for a while, it might be hungry. Reach out with a treat, and I immediately see how the kitten's nose twitches as if it's sniffing the air. Yeah, come on, buddy. Same treats as yesterday. As the other day. You know you want it. Come take it. After a moment's hesitation, it eases closer, carefully making its way back along the thin branch. I lay my hand flat, and the kitten grabs the treat and devours it in seconds. really is hungry. I feed it more treats, making it come a little closer each time before I grab the kitten with both hands and place it in my lap. Feed it the rest of the treats, and it eagerly eats every single one of them. Oh, he's so happy. Oh, that little face. He's hungry and a bit tired, but it looks otherwise fine. Now comes the part where I have to get both of us down safely. Reach for my bag. That's probably the best way to carry the kitten, as it keeps both my hands free. Sorry, this will be over in a minute. Grab Momo and put it in the bag before placing it over my back again. After that, I begin my steady descent, and I pull it off smoothly. When I reach the last fork in the tree, I drop down and make freeing Momo my top priority. Open up the bag and bring the kitten up in my arms. Aww, after a few seconds of being safe in my arms on the ground, the kitten falls asleep. I look at it curiously and stroke it gently over its back. It's almost surreal. Now I'm faced with what to do next. I've rescued Momo from the tree, but I don't want to let go of the kitten again. I don't want to be uncertain whether or not it has a warm place to sleep and food to eat. I can't leave this kitten to face the wilds on its own. I'll take it home with me. We can look for its owner if we don't find anyone. Momo will stay with us. Me and Ro and Momo and Gargoyle. All of us. Together. The kitten wakes up just before I get home, but is still sleepy. At the door, I decide to knock and wait. I hear Ro walk across the room and she opens the door for us. Oh, hi, Gargoyle. Surprise! You have to stop just bringing cats home. Think about my heart. I'll try to keep that in mind. It looks tired. Is it okay? I found it stuck in a tree. It took some time to get it down. The poor thing. For how long was it up there? No idea. Anyway, let's take it to my room and let it rest and eat. We should keep the cats separated for some time too, so they can get used to each other. Cats need some time for that. Will you take Momo then? I don't want to leave Gargoyle on its own. She nods and I carefully hand over the kitten. Momo looks a little worried at first, but Ro manages to calm it down in no time at all. She leaves and I throw myself on the sofa, enjoying Gargoyle's quiet company. Oh, how nice. Some time later. Aww. It took some time before Gargoyle and Momo learned to know each other, but now they are inseparable. Momo sticks to the older cat day and night, and Gargoyle is starting to look like a proud parent, teaching the kitten everything it knows. Aww. Thanks to that and Ro's efforts, we don't have a shy kitten anymore, but a bold, playful young cat that lives its life to the fullest. The cats aren't the only ones that have showed improvement. Roselle's looking much better nowadays. I knock against her doorframe before entering. Oh, hi. Hey, Sarah. What's up? Not much, Ro. How was the lecture? It was alright, I suppose. Interesting content, but a bad presenter. Well, ain't that university in a nutshell? Oh yeah, it sure is. That, and overpriced course literature. Say, I've got no more studying to do today. I don't suppose you fancy going out on the town? Maybe grab an ice cream or something? That'd be great. You're already done? To think you once had me thinking you'd drop out. It took a lot of work to catch up, so I'm going to do things properly this time. Let's celebrate then and get that ice cream. How nice. Ro and I say goodbye to the cats, knowing that they'll manage by themselves. We set out on our walk, chatting and enjoying the sun. Ro and I banter, joke, and laugh our way through Paris, just like old times. Oh, how nice. Everything's so happy. So that was Cateau. That was such an enjoyable little experience. And I know it has multiple endings, so maybe you could try it yourself and maybe get all 3 cats to follow you home. It seemed like that might be a possibility. So thank you so much for joining me on this adventure, and I'll see you next time. Bye.